It's time to live full out and let these stories inspire you.
And I decided I was going to put my fear to death and take on risks and challenges.
There's motivation at every turn.
You name it, I'm trying it just because I'm making up for lost time when I didn't have a chance to try things before.
We want to show how they went from the most challenging times in their life to thriving.
This is just where I'm meant to be, and it's a mindset, so I'm happy.
It's time to live full out. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I got to tell you, I am so excited to be here with you because when I created this show, it was all about telling stories of people who have gone from the hardest times in their life, times where you just wanted to give up, wave the flag, and just be like, I don't know if I can do it anymore. But these guests show us how we can push through, how we can find that silver lining, the lessons learned. And I got to tell you, I am so lucky. I tapped my heels 3 times, knowing that I get to sit right next to guests like Darla Christensen. And I got to tell you, Darla, your story is just, it's so textured and there's so much to it. But like me, you grew up with domestic violence. I know your dad was an alcoholic and you pretty much lived in fear every day. What was that like?
It was difficult. You're trying to have a normal childhood, trying to go to school, but you never know when your father's going to come home at 2 a.m, be drunk, get upset about dust on a coffee table, or maybe a dish that's left in the sink. And suddenly you're all awake, you're all downstairs doing the dishes, and then you get a nice beating to put you back to bed. And then you're expected to get up and go to school the next day. So...
Well, and the thing is I know what that's like. You know, you go downstairs and there's broken glass and you're not really sure what it all is going to look like or feel like. And there was a day when some kids came over, they weren't supposed to be there. They left out the front door. Your dad saw it. And that night you got the beating of your life, but you decided that was it. What did you do?
Yeah, the next morning when I came down, I got the courage and I just told my mom, I said, you know, I'm done. I'm not going to take another beating from anyone again in my entire life. And I said, I'm leaving. I was 11 years old and I knew that I was done and I was leaving without any doubt. And to my great surprise, my mother said, no, don't go. I'll leave your father. We had heard this before and there were times when we were homeless and when we were, you know, staying on someone's couch while we had our parents work out the differences, but finally she said she would do it.
And I think your courage that you have even today is what gave her that strength. Mm-hmm. And you left. Now, the sad thing is your dad did pass away from his alcoholism 9 months later. Mm-hmm. And how has that haunted you, affected you, even as of today?
It's rough because me saying, I'm leaving, we've got to go, was enough to get my mom to go, and my father's drinking spiraled out of control once we left. And so, although we were free and started over, like my life began at age 12, 9 months later, on Father's Day, my father passed away. And there was a lot of guilt because he probably would not have passed away so quickly. He was only 38 years old when he passed away. I think of that as like a blink of an eye, you know, so young. And so I'm carrying guilt, but at the same time, anger. The biggest anger I had, though, was I always had these visions that I'd be able to meet him as an adult and be able to say, how could you have done that? How could you have beaten your beautiful children, your beautiful wife? What would ever lead you to do such a thing? And I never got that opportunity.
You know, and unanswered questions is the hardest. Mm-hmm. And you were at a mass shooting here, very famously, unfortunately, in Vegas, where you too have unanswered questions about that day. But what was your role there?
I was a security supervisor. It was the end of a 3-day show. We had an hour left. Jason Aldean took the stage, and at that point, I was setting up for egress to allow 22,000 people to exit the arena safely, or the grounds, you know. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it was very exciting. We're almost done. It'd been a great 3 days. And then suddenly on my radio, I hear, is that an active shooter or is that fireworks? And I thought, fireworks, that's weird. And I look up and I see 2 puffs of smoke going up right to my left. And just within seconds, someone comes on the radio and says, active shooter, take action. And then all hell broke loose. You know how that went. So.
I mean, the tremble of that, and your job was to take out everybody injured and everybody who had passed. How many total people that day?
I don't know, thousands. I would grab groups anywhere from one person that I would carry out to 20 to 300 at a time, or however many I could get. You know, the nice thing about people is once you get them moving in the right direction and you kind of get some pathways going, people will follow. But when you're under a massive attack like we were, with over 1,200 rounds being shot at you, the fear factor, some people freeze and they can't move, they can't do anything. I literally was carrying people out.
Well, fear, though, picked on the wrong woman, right? So when we come back, everyone, Darla fought through her fear, and she did it through a little sport that maybe you've heard of. We'll be right back after this break.
Osaka was the first Japanese restaurant in Las Vegas when it opened in 1967. Now, with 2 locations, West Sahara and Henderson, it has become a hometown favorite and withstood the test of time. It is currently operated by the 2nd generation of the Nakanishi family. Osaka Catering has provided over 30 million pieces of sushi to parties up to 2,000 people. We have 12 on-site sushi bars available for private parties. Osaka has built its reputation in carrying only the finest in fresh fish and its ability to create a variety of rolls, which satisfy even the most adventurous of tastes. Its teppanyaki grill chefs are masters of their art, and the full, authentic Japanese menu has something to please everyone. Osaka Japanese Bistro in Las Vegas was voted by Japan's largest weekly magazine, the Asahi Shukan, as one of the 50 best Japanese restaurants. Osaka was the only one outside of Japan given this honor. Osaka Japanese Bistro is also a 20-time winner of the Best of Las Vegas award. Osaka's upscale and conveniently located Henderson location features an airy and open modern design, as well as an on-site art gallery and performance stage with weekly live jazz performances. Of course, it also features a large sushi bar, tatami rooms, and a teppan grill. Close to the Strip, experience classic Osaka. Located on Sahara Avenue a few blocks off the Las Vegas Strip, enjoy a classic Las Vegas experience in our original location. Just like the Rat Pack and other legendary Strip entertainers remembered it. Enjoy a late-night snack at our friendly sushi bar, dine in a private tatami room, or enjoy a live flaming hot teppanyaki grill experience.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. So excited you're here. And I gotta tell you, many of you may or may not know, but I'm legally blind. As I do this show and I interview all of my different guests, I can't really see them, but I feel their stories. And that is why we dedicated this show to making sure that we together as a community feel life. And that is how you become resilient. For me, it was legal blindness. I had to crack the code on how to navigate life without seeing, using that sense of smell, sense of touch, all the auditorial devices, and my beautiful guide dog, Frost. So truly having Darla Christensen, our guest today, with me is just another soul sister in the resilient department. I love having you here. And I'm so sorry that you went through everything that you did, the domestic violence as a kiddo, the mass shooting in Las Vegas. But I gotta tell you, something in you, it got fired up when one day your little cute dog left the house and it opened you up to a whole new world, all these new friends. What is that?
So what I found was pickleball, the sport of pickleball. And from day one, I absolutely loved it. After being in my house for 3 years behind closed doors after experiencing the mass shooting, I was fearful. I couldn't leave my house, couldn't go to the mall, couldn't go to the airport, anything. And then my little dog, who was my personal dog that got me through those 3 years, he went exploring one day and ended up at the home of a professional pickleball player.
Wow.
Right across the street, didn't know they were there. And as I was picking up my dog and leaving, they said, "Hey, do you play pickleball?" And I thought, no, that sounds weird to me. I don't know what it is, but they said, come out. And I took that chance. I went to the Plaza Hotel and played pickleball up on the rooftop and loved it from day one.
Well, and your story is fascinating because I love how you took action. You were like, okay, I'd like to find about 16 friends. I'm going to create a Facebook page and see who finds it, right? Mm-hmm. But is it true you have 8,000 people that follow your page now?
Over 8,500 people.
What? It's grown overnight.
It's huge. It's just unbelievable. And they're beginner players, and they have fallen in love with the sport. And just like me, how it's helped me grow and recover from what I went through, it does the same for so many people. So I absolutely love it.
There's so many people watching today who are dealing with trauma. Mm-hmm. They're dealing with not being able to let go of the past, haunted by being abused by their father, mm-hmm. haunted by, mass shooting incidents and beyond. How are you able today to finally find that peace in your life, to sleep at night, to have a smile on your face, and to have hope in your heart?
I feel amazingly lucky. Let me just tell you, I think I'm one of the luckiest people I've ever met. I had a dream one night, and in it, I knew that I could forgive my father for what he did to me. And forgiveness is a big piece of it. Also, being open and aware to opportunities that come forward and taking that risk to go and try it, taking that risk to step out of your comfort zone. And then it just brings so much. I can't believe how lucky I have been.
Well, and truly, faith has led you along the way too. You know, being able to know that it'll all work out. And so, how has having your faith been what you needed to really heal?
It is amazing. I have always believed in a higher power and always felt like there was someone there watching out and looking over me and helping me along the way. And so, just by having that made it easier to go day by day and to move forward. It's hard to forgive a shooter who shot, 450 people that day and 750 people that were injured, and to have no reason. We don't know why today. Just like with my father, I could never ask him the question. This gentleman's no longer with us, and I can't ask him why he did it. I just have to be okay with it and move past it.
So how do you square that circle?
It's tough. It's not easy. Every day is easier and easier. Mm-hmm. It does get easier every day, but a big part of it is having wonderful friends and that ability to go outside and get on the pickleball court and just have a great time.
Well, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to play pickleball with you, but you always have a friend in Nancy. And I got to tell you, I just adore you. I think that for how far you've come, and man, that 8,500 or so people that follow your page, think of the joy that you brought them. You did that. And that all came out of years of trauma. You fought through that fear. Again, you did it, girl. You are living full out. So everyone, when we come back, I just really want you to all know that living full out is a journey, right? It doesn't happen in a snap, but believe in yourself, lean on friends and family, and you will get through it.
When no one is watching, are you preparing? Preparing to leave it all on the court. Every ounce of energy. The work that brought you here, to this moment, to this place. Can you play your best game after game? Nothing is given, so give your all. Own the court. Be the one who just won't quit, because settling isn't an option. It's your choice. It's your time. Play your best with Onyx.
Des, are you having hallucinations?
I think it's the house. Childhood memories.
I thought it was great. It was really, really enjoyable, and it made me cry a little bit.
I love the story. I highly recommend it.
We just didn't know what to expect, really, and we were just surprised throughout the entire time.
You are not traveling through time.
Saying that time travel is not possible.
I'm not having this conversation.
I was just astounded at how terrific House and Time turned out to be.
It was wonderful. It had an amazing storyline. It just about did bring me to tears about how we should go on and forget the past and go on and do the best in our future.
I would highly recommend anybody go see this amazing film.
Welcome to Car Breakdowns 101. I'm your Professor Ice-T. If your car is out of warranty, a car breakdown could eat you alive. Look at that car. The transmission alone could cost you $3,000. And that engine? How much do you love your kidneys? Don't even get me started on the computer system. That's a small fortune. Do what I did and call Car Shield. They get expensive car repairs taken care of so you don't have to. Class dismissed.
Call 800-786-8390.
Thank you for joining us. It's the Living Full Out Show, and as you know, we are all about fighting through our fears. But I gotta tell you, this next guest, Dan Meyer, I don't think I could do what he does. Dan, I gotta tell you, you're polishing this sword. I'm kind of hoping it's not for me. But how did you get into this sword swallowing, and why?
So the first 20 years of my life, I grew up in extreme fear. Social anxiety disorder. I couldn't talk. I would shake and stutter. The bullies would tease me and beat me up. So I vowed I wanted to do real magic, do things the other kids could not do. I wanted to be a superhero like Superman, fly around the world doing superhuman feats and saving lives, that kind of thing. And when I was 20, I moved to India as a Lutheran missionary. I saw sword swallowing in the streets of India in the place where it started. And that didn't quite do it, but I almost died of malaria fever the night before my 21st birthday. And so I made a little bucket list of things I wanted to do with my life, and I decided I was going to put my fear to death and take on risks and challenges. And I made a little bucket list of what I call thromes, like bucket list. And sword swallowing was not on one of them, but one of them was to do something with the circus, be a clown or juggler or fire eater, whatever, and I did all that. And eventually in 1997, I heard there were less than 12 sword swallowers left. I said, I've got to try that. There were no books or anything available in 97. And so I began practicing. I practiced 10 to 12 times a day, every day for 4 years, a total of 14,000 unsuccessful attempts before I got my first sword down my throat, February 12th, 2001. And since then, it's taken me to 60 countries around the world, 9 TED Talks, 15 Got Talents, and just it's been a blessing for me to share this with other people, that they can overcome fear and do the impossible in their lives.
Well, aren't you a lazy soul?
Yeah.
I am telling you. Come on, Dan, get it together. No, I got to tell you, all of that energy, that swagger, really, how do you do this? How does this sword, where do you begin? I mean, I heard about all those attempts, those failed attempts, and you finally got it, but how do you not just nick the back of your throat and have blood dripping from the sword when it comes out?
So when I first looked at it, everything for me was negative. I would always look at the 99% that was impossible and say, no, I can't do that. Then I changed my attitude, and now I look at the 1% that's plausible and figure out the way how to make it possible. So in order to swallow a sword, I have to slide it into my oral cavity over the tongue. When I get to the back of the throat, it runs into the very first reflex, which is the gag reflex, right? When you're brushing your teeth.
Okay.
Repress the gag reflex, navigate a 90-degree curve down the cervical esophagus, go through the hyoidal ring, the cricopharyngeal upper esophageal sphincter. Now at this point behind the Adam's apple, the blade can go in one of two different directions. It can either go down my esophagus and into my stomach, or down my trachea, my bronchial tubes, and into my lungs. In my case, I really hope it goes down the esophagus and into my stomach. So what I have to do is flip open the epiglottis, slide the blade down into my esophagus, repress the peristalsis reflex, the 22 pairs of muscles that swallows your food, slide the blade into the chest. When I get to between the lungs, it runs into the highest concentration of blood vessels in the human body, the cardiac muscle, or the heart. And I actually have to nudge my heart to the left. So for folks on TV, if you watch carefully, you can see the blade beat with my heart. In your case, you might get to feel it with your hand as the blade beats with my heart, because it's leaning against the heart, separated by 1/8 of an inch of esophageal tissue.
Wow.
When I go past that, I go past the lower esophageal sphincter, have to relax that, slide it past the liver and kidneys, down into the stomach, repress the retroreflex all the way down to the bottom of the stomach, the duodenum. If I go further than that, all the way down to my fallopian tubes. Piece of cake.
You make it sound easy, but I might stick with karaoke as my hobby.
Go.
But I mean, I've got to tell you, this is kind of gross and exciting at the same time. But I got to tell you, you have really squashed fear. Do you
Do you fear anything anymore?
I still have fear, but I've just learned not to let it consume me. I've learned to take 5 seconds of courage and overcome that fear. On America's Got Talent, they asked me to pull a car across the stage. I didn't know if I could do it or not. And I just took that 5 seconds of courage and I gave it everything I got, and I managed to pull the car all the way across the stage, no hands, just attached to the sword. So I still have fear, but I've learned to push past it. I still don't like snakes. I don't like heights, but
you
now...
probably make your dentist really angry,
yeah,
though.
That's
I mean, not Dan, not again, not another car towing. Well, I got to tell you, I am just excited for you and all the great things coming, and I know that it's scary and you blast through that fear, but I got to tell you, everyone, we too have that superhero ability. We all do. We just have to be willing to put ourselves out there, have that courage, and live full out.
In Las Vegas, countless young lives are brimming with potential, waiting for the right opportunity to shine. At Manifest Academy, we believe every child deserves a chance to succeed, not just academically, but emotionally. Through the transformative power of music, we provide mentorship that fosters mental wellness, creativity, and confidence. Our mission is simple: to empower the next generation with the tools that they need to dream big and achieve even bigger. Your support makes this possible. By donating, you give Las Vegas youth access to life-changing opportunities and a brighter future. Visit manifestacademylv.org to sponsor hope, growth, and endless possibilities. Together, we can make transformative lives one note at a time.
This right here is confidence in a bottle. It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes. And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under eye bags, and let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view, and now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work after your first application. Call the number on your screen.
Call 1-800-839-6074.
The quest to live full out definitely has its highs and lows, but that is why, Dan, I find that your story is just so inspiring, because here you are, being an amazing sword swallower all over, right, on different TV shows and ours. But I got to tell you, you're dealing behind the scenes with a very serious health issue, and you have been. What is that?
So in 2022, I was doing Australia's Got Talent. I've done a number of these Got Talents, and I was in the best shape of my life, doing 500 push-ups a day. I pulled a car across the stage. It went great. Came back and had a colonoscopy and found out I had colon cancer. And that kind of sent me for a loop. And I found out I had several tumors. And rather than, they wanted to go in and cut them out immediately and do surgery and chemotherapy, radiation, and talked to a friend of mine who's one of the top cancer doctors in the world, and he said, you know what, you might have had these cancers for 5 or 10 years. You might have them for another 5 or 10 or 15 years. He said, don't cancel your bookings you've got. So I continued on, did a bunch more bookings, went on and did Sweden's Got Talent, won the Golden Buzzer, went back and did the finals, did about 7 Got Talents that year. And my sister said, I thought you said you had cancer. What are you doing running around the world doing all this stuff? And I thought, you know what? Instead of letting the cancer take me downhill and spiral downhill, I decided I wanted to just enjoy life as much as I could, take the opportunities while I can. When the doctor told me that I had cancer, I rubbed my hands together and I went, oh goody, this is going to be good. This is going to be fun. And he
Only you, Dan.
Well, he brought in about 6 other doctors and they're all looking at me like, is this guy nuts? And I said, no, you don't understand. I love doing the impossible. I love beating the odds. And I just look at fighting cancer as another way of doing the impossible, as another way of beating the odds and defying death. And if I can do this with the sword swallowing, with pulling cars, with doing crazy stuff, there's a good chance I can do it with the cancer as well. So instead of letting the cancer take me down the tubes, my one doctor said, I said, how much time do you give me left? What stage is it? He said, I'm not going to tell you, because if I tell you you've got 90 days left, so many people die right at the 90 days. So he said, I'm not going to tell you. You just go on and keep doing what you're doing. So I went on and did a total of 15 Got Talents.
Wow.
That particular year I did Sweden's Got Talent, Croatia, Germany, Spain, Canada, the Huckabee Show. It was a wonderful year. And the cancers actually seem to decrease. We've gotten rid of a few of the tumors using some ultra different routes and different ways of getting rid of them. And now I feel I've alternate type things, and now I'm feeling good.
Now, one of the things I think, though, Dan, here you are, you're so positive, but you're dealing with cancer. And I should sit here, and I am, because I adore you, but at the same time, you played a trick on me earlier that I'm a little bit upset about. And so I have to show the audience what happened. So show me how this is done.
Okay, so what I've got here, Nancy, is a 24-inch long sword. I'll let you feel the sword, the weight of it. It's rather heavy.
Oh God, it's really heavy.
It is quite big, yep. Don't stab me with
I'm
it.
so sorry.
And I'm going to plunge this down right about to my belt buckle here.
Okay.
And then you get to pull it out. Okay?
Oh God. Okay, here we go.
Very gently.
Oh my God, Dan. You live another day. You are living full out, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for not killing me.
Yeah. So truly, I mean, first of all, I am kind of mad because that's just scary. My palms are like sweating. I can't even believe you did that to me. But the thing is, you have become such a good friend, and we have been kind of on different journeys. Mm-hmm. But I can appreciate sometimes in life when you have like legal blindness for me, and I'm kind of like, okay, if the blindness just doesn't get any worse. For you, okay, if the cancer just doesn't get any worse. But it did come back. Mm-hmm. And so how do you stay like very fearless in face of this cancer?
I've just focused on moving forward. I pray every day. I've got just a lot of friends, millions of people around the world praying for me. Mm-hmm. And I just use this as an opportunity to tell people that they can overcome fear in their lives and do the impossible in their lives.
Perfect note, Dan. I gotta tell you, everybody, it is all about overcoming our fears. When you do that, you are doing what? Living full out, right? See you soon.
This is the Las Vegas Television Network. It's all Vegas, all the time.